Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. Let's have a look at restoring old units. So this is basically about dust removal, oxidation, old soldering joints, and resoldering with higher quality tin. So those things all make a difference. You know, if you remove dust, yeah, there is a noticeable sound difference, especially when you get up to the higher class gear. So normal gear, yeah, you might not hear a big difference, but it's good to keep it clean inside and outside, and just also getting rid of oxidation inside the gear. If you have cables that have been exposed too much to the air, you might want to get that resoldered or redone in some kind of a way. You can also have original silver plugs which oxidize with time, so you have to polish them so you get a better contact. Just think about that. It's worth thinking about small things like that. I know that audio note silver terminals on the outside will with time get like a darker silver color simply because they're exposed to air. So just polish that, use some proper material. I wouldn't use polishing material that you use on silverware, but just ask your dealer about how to deal with that. So it's worth looking into these small tiny differences. They actually altogether make a substantial difference to your sound. And yeah, just resoldering the same stuff that you have with the same tin. It could be this gear here, could be 60-40 years old, and even if you're using the same soldering tin, the fact that you're making a fresh soldering resoldering job can actually change the sound, so it becomes a lot better. So, and just notice that once you've done this job, it actually takes quite a bit of time for a lot of soldering joints to fully burn in, so it sounds proper. So don't be disappointed if it sounds too shut in or thin or harsh or dark or whatever. That's actually quite normal, that it sits a bit on the sound, not quite releasing it after having done a lot of having done a huge job on an amplifier in general, not just resoldering stuff but changing parts. So just so you know. And again, you can take it to another level by just using a higher level soldering tin, like for example the audio note one that I mentioned here. Normal soldering tin has a tendency of either muting the sound or making it a bit bright or dark. So just know that, again, when you're dealing with lower class gear, will you really want to do these types of things? I mean, you have to evaluate it for each piece of gear that you're dealing with, but usually the higher quality gear needs a higher quality soldering tin to balance things out. But again, you can also use a higher quality soldering tin on a lower piece of gear sometimes to solve problems. So it's just good to know all of these small tricks. So this is a guy you also should follow. He has a lot of these good ideas and some technician knowledge. So also try and support that guy by following his channel. And here we have an old Macintosh amp where it has a built-in cable, and just changing that cable to a newer standard of copper can actually make a big difference together with a proper plug. So bear that in mind. And if you've got like an old piece of audio note, Condor, whatever, another fine piece of gear, it could be from another brand, you might want to also just be a bit careful by letting a regular shop look at gear like that, because a regular shop doesn't usually pay attention to that special type of silver cable that they use, that special soldering tin and stuff like that. You really want to have a store deal with that, and if it needs a wire that needs to be changed, then they're able to deal with that. Those specialty stores, repair stores, typically it's some kind of an audio note store, but it's just worth knowing these kinds of things, because regular technicians, I wouldn't call them regular, it's a bit derogatory, but it's most technicians are not used to dealing with really fine pieces of gear, like repairing a spectral amplifier or a Negra piece of gear, or like I mentioned, Condor Audio. You really want specialty stores to look at that, so it gets the original parts, so it doesn't get this sort of, it works type of sound, but not quite the original sound, So I'm just letting you guys know about this. These things here is actually quite important information. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a nice day.